is at 9 p.m. on the 12th day of November. A few days to the end of the year and even fewer days to Christmas. I do hope your day has been fantastic. So much in store for you in this particular broadcast. Let's get a short intro and then come back with the reports.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
In my company on the sign language interpretation is Francis Okumo, and engage with us on X at KUTV_Kenya and at Kemuma_Monari. We are streaming live on YouTube at KUTV News Kenya. Let's begin. Now, the two-term politics continues to intensify as President William Ruto extends his development and political influence campaigns into the Ukambani region. Ruto, who spoke while presiding over the issuance of land title deeds in Makueni, used the occasion to attack his political opponents amid speculations that his visit was aimed at wooing Kalonzo Musyoka. Our reporter Rose Kaguku with the details.
Makueni hoye! Makueni hoye!
On the backyard of Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka in Makueni County, President William Ruto on his development tour took with him his two-term campaign narrative, preaching unity.
Mnasema tuendelee na kazi ama mnataka tuendelee na fitina? Kazi iendelee. Mnasema tuendelee na kazi? Tupange mambo yenu ya afya. Tupange mambo yenu ya barabara. Tuunganishe stima. Tupange ajira ya vijana.
Ruto lashed out at his opponents, saying they are driven by deceit and have no development agenda.
Wale majamaa wengine ni watu akili yao inaanzia kwa ukabila, inapitia kwa chuki, inakwama kwa shares, inaishia hapo kwa mambo ya ukabila. Nyinyi mnataka tuendelee na hiyo barabara?
According to him, a leader should be elected based on the development they have delivered, not on empty words.
Mtu anachaguliwa kwa sababu gani? Kwa sura ama kwa kazi? Kwa ukabila ama kwa kazi? Si kila kiongozi anachaguliwa kwa kazi? Sasa kama mtu asubuhi ukabila, jioni chuki, jioni ingine shares, hiyo watu tutawazamisha asubuhi ama tutawangojea? Asubuhi na nini?
His remarks were supported by Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki, who emphasized that it is time to abandon tribal politics and embrace issue-based development-oriented politics for the benefit of the people.
Tunataka siasa ya Kenya ibadilike, tuchunge mambo ya maendeleo, na kwa hivyo wale wanashindana na sisi, mupunguze mambo ya ukabila na chuki na kisirani, tuongee mambo ya sera.
Meanwhile, Labour Cabinet Secretary Dr. Alfred Mutua insisted that the people of Ukambani are tired of empty political promises and now want visible, tangible results.
Kwa muda mrefu Mheshimiwa Rais tumedanganywa. Tunaambiwa ati tukae ngumu, ati itakuwa nzuri hapo mbele. Sisi tunasema tutaki mambo kukaa ngumu. Tumechoka na siasa ya umaskini, tunataka siasa ya maendeleo.
Other leaders including Senator Tabitha Mutinda also continued to drum up support for President Ruto.
Wakiwa ndani bado walipiga kelele. Walipotoka nje bado wanapiga kelele.
Siasa ya kuambiwa sijui ati wewe ni maskini jeuri.
Wale wengine wakikuja hapa wakiwaambia msichague William Ruto, mumwambie tunataka siasa ya kushindana maendeleo, sio siasa ya fitina na chuki na ukabila. Kweli si kweli?
Ruto's visit to Ukambani has sparked intense political debate, with political analysts suggesting that it is a calculated move to draw Wiper Party Kalonzo Musyoka closer to the Kenya Kwanza administration, even though Kalonzo currently remains one of the president's key opponents.
Ni two-term, si two-term.
Rose Kaguku, KUTV, Nairobi.
Now, Kenyan activist Bob Njagi has accused the government of Kenya and Tanzania of coordinating his arrest. He claims the move was orchestrated after authorities learned of his planned cross-border travel. Njagi is calling for unity among East African citizens and vows to continue fighting for human rights.
The three governments are collaborating between Museveni, our President Ruto, and Samia Suluhu. Our arrest was a coordinated arrest between the Kenyan government. They knew we were crossing over into Tanzania. They raised the alarm there, and those guys did the dirty job for them. So we as a people have decided we are going to unite across borders between the Tanzanian people, the East African community, and to ensure that we put a check on the excesses of these governments. We want governments that are led by the values of human rights at the center of every administration. And we shall continue to fight for these rights for as long as we're alive. We should not associate ourselves with such oppressive regimes, starting with Tanzania. And we are hoping on the December 9th, they have declared it an Independence Day. Also in Kenya, we are declaring December 9th will be a total shutdown. We are going to stand in solidarity with our brothers in Tanzania, and we are going to shut our borders in Kenya in solidarity with Tanzania. The Tanzanian embassy, we are actually calling for it to be closed down immediately until further notice. And we are asking our legislators in Parliament to push this motion.
Now, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba Migos has called out contradictory statements he made in Parliament, where he had stated that the government has been releasing 1.1 billion to ghost schools in Kenya, hence the education crisis. According to Ogamba, the verification process resulted in the closure of the 10 public secondary schools that were purportedly empty. Migos has, however, claimed that the government is looking into verifying all schools, with the report expected to be released on Friday on the name of the ghost schools. The CS was speaking while opening exams in Mombasa County.
We did not say that there are ghost schools. What I indicated in Parliament is, as at the time I was in Parliament that day, we had not released a 1.1 billion to the schools that had not submitted the data, because what happened when the schools did not submit the data, we decided to pay a number of them 50% of the capitation. There were about 990 schools as at that time. So once we complete this exercise, ladies and gentlemen and members of the media, we will give you the actual data.
Now, Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has reaffirmed Kenya's commitment to regulatory harmonization of medical products in Africa through the Africa Medicines Agency, AMA, for the continent to achieve health sovereignty and reduce over-reliance on imports. James Baraka details.
In a move aimed at achieving health sovereignty and reduce over-reliance on imports of medical products in Africa, Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has emphasized the need for Africa to shift from being a net importer to a reliable, large-scale producer of quality vaccines, therapeutics, diagnostics, and medical devices.
We must move decisively from being primary importers to becoming reliable producers of vaccines, diagnostics, devices, and many others at quality, at scale, and on time. The master key to this shift is regulatory harmonization.
The CS, who spoke in Mombasa during the 7th Biennial Scientific Conference on Medical Products Regulation in Africa, said the COVID-19 pandemic exposed Africa's vulnerability when global supply chains collapsed, leaving the continent waiting for essential medical supplies.
Regulation is the enabling architecture. Divergent requirements across borders keep Africa small. Harmonized standards make Africa a single, credible market. The African Medicine Agency, AMA, is our continental leap. It's an institution designed to be vigorous, predictable, innovative, friendly, which must accelerate access while at the same time safeguarding the quality and the safety.
While calling for support from the African Medicines Agency to catalyze local manufacturing, Pharmacy and Poisons Board Chairperson John Munyu warned that Africa remains in a precarious position, importing 90% of its medicines and producing less than 1% of its vaccines.
We are at the moment importing 90% of medicines and producing less than 1% of vaccines. this is a critical weakness we must address as a continent. Over the past 10 years, Africa Medicines Regulatory Harmonization Program has been the cornerstone of our efforts.
While echoing the CS remarks, Mombasa Governor Abdul Swamad Nasir also called for the regulation of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence in the health sector in order to protect patients.
The regulation of the medical industry should not just be to tablets and syrups alone. I think we also need to be able to expand into regulating algorithm, regulating medical health apps that are out there, regulating AI solutions when it comes to health.
As this happened, the CS asserted that Kenya is strengthening its national regulatory authority toward global benchmarks, digitizing review pathways, and integrating quality systems from clinical trials oversight to post-market surveillance. James Baraka for KUTV.
Kenyans have been urged to embrace a culture of regular blood donation to help save lives. This is according to Embu Regional Blood Transfusion Center Manager Daniel Washira, who says the region faces a shortage of about 30% of the blood required to serve patients across the Mount Kenya region.
At the Embu Town Blood Donation Drive, health officers and volunteers joined hands in a campaign to encourage Kenyans to donate blood voluntarily and regularly. According to the Regional Blood Transfusion Center Manager Daniel Washira, the facility serves 9 counties across Mount Kenya but currently faces a 30% shortage of the required blood supply.
In the Mount Kenya region, we normally serve about 9 counties, but specifically we are here due to the need for Embu County. In Embu County, we require around 900 to around 1,000 blood units for us to meet the demand. And normally, currently, we are doing around 80 to 90%. So there is always a deficit.
Washira says the deficit is affecting the center's ability to adequately serve patients, urging residents to make voluntary blood donation a habit rather than a one-time act.
You can come after every 4 months or rather 3 months. And this issue of people just running because they have a patient is not self-sufficient. We are going to be self-sufficient in the blood inventory if we happen to have, or rather to change the attitude and to have voluntary donors.
He added that men can safely donate blood up to 4 times a year, while women can donate every 4 months, that is 3 times annually.
So a man or a male can donate 4 times per year, but for ladies or for female, they can donate after 4 months, so they can donate only 3 months. 3 times per year. We normally have we can have autologous donors. For these autologous donors, these are the people who normally come because of elective surgeries and they donate blood for themselves.
On his part, the Lions Club of Embu President Dr. Patrick Kadhondu said the centers helped mitigate deficit of blood in the region center.
They're saying they have a deficit of about 30% of the blood that they need. And for us, it's about mobilizing the community so that we can be able to deal with that deficit and see whether we can be able to bridge it in a way that they will be able to serve the community in a better way.
One of the blood donors urged Kenyans to come out in large numbers and donate blood regularly to help save lives. As hospitals continue to record the increased demands for blood, health officials maintain that regular blood donations not only saves life but also promotes the donor's own well-being. Edward Nyamu, KUTV.
Many thanks, Edward Nyamu, for that report. Now we are due for our first commercial break here on KUTV News at 9. Then we'll be back with more reports on the other end, so see you then.
Are you ready to take charge of your health? Welcome to Focus on Health, your weekly guide to staying informed and living better. Join me every week as I sit down with trusted medical experts.
Gynecology is basically a field concerned with mainly the female genitalia.
Explore real-life stories
during when the patient come in,
and bring you updates and tips that are beneficial to your health. Because health isn't just important, it is everything. Tune in to Focus on Health every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. only on KUTV. I'm your host, Kandia Marian, and I'll see you then.
A new era, a new people. This is the Law Matters Show. A program that brings you legal sensitization on your television.
My statement is written and just the quote the prosecution.
I think that this loss is a setback for Raila Odinga.
What policy recommendations were fronted by the candidate?
With diversity, we demystify important legal issues locally, regionally, and internationally.
What Tanzanians.
Join me, Elvin Onsongo, as I bring you more insights on law matters.
We are looking at social issues. What is the problem? Is it the economy? Is it...
Law Matters Show, creating awareness, advocacy, and enhancing lives.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
On the sign language interpretation is Francis Okinyi. Engage with us on X at KUTV_Kenya and at Kemuma_Monari. We are streaming live on YouTube at KUTVNEWS Kenya. Let's continue. Now, leaders in Kilifi County are now calling for urgent intervention by the national government to end the persistent elephant menace that continues to destroy crops and livelihoods in the regions. The leaders say the destruction caused by the elephants has worsened poverty levels among residents who heavily rely on farming.
Elephants continue to wreak havoc on farms in Kilifi County, destroying crops and worsening poverty levels. Residents are demanding urgent government action, including erection of an electric fence to end the persistent human-wildlife conflict affecting Magarini, Ganze, and Kaloleni. Speaking in Kadhama, Kilifi, Governor Gideon Mung'aro told President William Ruto to speed up the process of erecting an electric fence to prevent the elephants from crossing to farms, threatening that their community members will retaliate, taking matters to their hands.
Lakini nataka rais asikie kwamba hivi tunavyoongea niko Chakama, Mheshimiwa Rais. Chakama yote, Matolani, Galana, hata hiyo shamba ya serikali ya Galana, tusipopunguza ndovu haitaweza kuzaa mazao ya kusaidia nchi kwa mambo ya njaa. Kwa hivyo hii ndovu ni janga limekumba watu wa Kilifi hapa, watu wana mara nyingine naua watu, lakini chakula kinaliwa hapa. Na hawa wananchi wamevuka mipaka sasa. Wanaambia governor kama ndovu watolewi basi utafanya kitoweo.
The Kenya Wildlife Service, KWS, was also called out for failing to control the wild animals.
Na mimi nataka niambie waziri wa wanyama pori, tafadhalini leteni kama ni ndege KWS, mtoe wananchi wapumzike hapa. Naweka maji, siku hizi ndovu wanavunja mpaka mifereji ya maji hapa. Wanajua kunusa, hiyo kama ona. Wananusa alafu wanakanyaga wanavunja pipes. Kwa wanywe maji, nule ngoru jeri. Kwa hivyo jameni, nataka kuambia waziri, na najua rais nishamwambia yeye amesema anatafuta pesa hiyo fence.
ADU Ward MCA Ruben Zia defending his constituencies linked the area's rising level of poverty to massive destruction of their food by the elephants.
Kwa saa hii wamechukua ndovu kuwapeleka huko kwa sababu wananchi hata toka hapa aende Tsavo kuenda kulima huko ni ndovu ndio ambao wanaachiliwa huko wakija kwa wananchi, na sisi hatutakubali. Tutawasukuma wale wananchi. Serikali kama itashindwa, sisi hatutashindwa, tutawasukuma hao. Gavana
Moses Ayab, a resident in Hawewanje village in Magarini, lamented of their long suffering, calling for urgent long-lasting solutions.
Kama wanyama wezi tolewa, mtuambie hawatoki, tujue kwamba hawatoki. Siku tudanganya wanaenda na waendi, wako pale. Wale pia nafanya kazi bwana gavana, tuko na KUTVNEWS pale. Nazunguka na wao mimi. Lakini ukimpata kwa mahindi, anakwambia wachana naye hawezi toka. Na mtu analipwa, amewekewa mafuta na mbasa sementi, amefadhiliwa kila kitu uko pale, anakwambia ndovu hawezi toka. Kwa nini asitoke na kazi yake?
Farmers in Kilifi County continue to count heavy losses as elephants destroy crops and threaten livelihoods. Residents are urging swift government intervention to erect electric fence and provide lasting measures to curb the worsening human-wildlife conflict in the region. Linda Nzilu, KUTV.
Now, over 30,000 national identity cards remain uncollected in Embu County, prompting the government to appeal to residents to pick them up from local registration offices. This is in an attempt to encourage voter registration and official registration to other government initiatives.
Embu County is appealing to applicants who had applied for national identification cards to make a point of collecting them without further delay. County Commissioner Jack Obuo says 13,000 unclaimed IDs are lying at various National Registration Bureau offices and at the Huduma Center in Embu Town.
Kwa county, zile ziko kwa maofisi zote mpaka Huduma Center. Tuko na idadi ya 13,000 IDs ambaye hazijakolektiwa ama hazijachakuliwa kutoka kwa maofisi. So wakati huu watu wanahitaji IDs wa register for voters na mahuduma zingine.
Speaking from his office, Obuo noted that local administrators including chiefs and assistant chiefs have been tasked with sensitizing residents at the grassroots level to collect their identification cards. He added that under the Data Protection Act, IDs cannot be delivered through third parties and must be collected in person.
Siku hizi tuko na hii Data Protection Act. Hatuwezi peana hizo IDs kwa watawala. Lakini tunataka information ikuje na bado tutaventilate tuhakikishe kwamba zimefikia wananchi.
At the Embu West Sub-County Office, Registrar of Persons Philip Muthu reported that about 2,000 IDs remain uncollected, with an additional 500 processed weekly, further increasing the backlog.
We receive so many IDs weekly. Nowadays, our office is very efficient. We are producing IDs every week. We are receiving over 500 IDs every week, and we are appealing to our fellow citizens to visit our office so that they can come and collect the IDs.
At the Huduma Center, 306 first-time IDs, 1,200 duplicates, and 35 cards with changes of particulars are yet to be picked up. The center is also grappling with 4,000 uncollected driving licenses and 3,000 birth certificates. With the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission pushing for continuous registration of voters, the opening of this huge backlog of uncollected ID cards is expected to help achieve the registration of 6.3 million new voters. Anyango Sylvia, KUTV.
Retired probation officer Elijah Mwonda has urged investigating agencies to conduct thorough and transparent investigations to safeguard justice and prevent miscarriages of justice in the courts. Speaking in Mogonga, Bomachoge, Borabu and Mwonda said poor investigations and manipulations of witnesses often leads to cases collapsing due to insufficient evidence. He faulted some officers for failing to visit crime scenes promptly and highlighted the cultural barriers that affect information gathering. Mwonda also recommended deploying officers familiar with local cultures to access reliable community information, stressing that justice begins with proper investigations.
Miscarriage of justice is there, and in fact when we talk of miscarriage of justice, It does not mean justice denied. Miscarriage of justice is that the justice that was required does not go to the person who deserves that justice. So what happens in the miscarriage of justice? We find that there are so many agencies which are involved in the justice system. For example, we have the police, we have the prosecution, we have various, but we have also the magistrates. Now, there are so many people who are involved in the justice system, very important players. Now, you find that the police, they are the people, they are the primary people who receive the information on any crime. They may contribute to miscarriage of justice.
Now, in the sporting world, Kenya's national football team Harambee Stars departed early this morning to Turkey ahead of 2 friendly matches against Equatorial Guinea and Senegal. The national champions are expected to use these matches as part of their preparations for the upcoming AFCON qualification games. All the time we had for you tonight, and many thanks for choosing KUTV to keep you informed tonight. Once again, as always, it's been a pleasure having you on here. My good name is Yvonne Kemuma, and Francis has been on the sign language interpretation. Until next time, same place, have a good night.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV